Ahem. Hello. Is anyone here? I've been like fidgeting with quite literally everything the past like 10 minutes, trying to get everything online and working. But I think I got there. I hope I got there. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, you guys can hear me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is I've been trying to like get my stream to be work better and get OBS and like everything else and like all the chat boxes and stuff. This is incomprehensible. This is insane. It's like gobbledygook. I don't know what it means, and I'm like tech savvy. It's actually insane. Also like managing the YouTube end. I hate all of it. It sucks. It truly sucks. Um, is Taffer a name or a reference to something? No, it's a username I came up with for my Nintendo DSi when I was approximately 8 years old for my Nintendo account. And I've kept it ever since. Unfortunately for a username, it's just a normal name that people can have. So like it's impossible to get in any game ever that requires like wholly unique tags. But I like Taffer. It works. I like the name. I think it's a fun name. So that's usually what I keep it at. Can I see? Oh, there we go. I can kind of see concurrent. Wait, no, but how do I? I'm trying to look at viewers. Okay, whatever. Speaking of tech, did you say you made this app UI? No, I certainly did not make this app. This is like I should just make like a long post that I can just link somewhere for like all of the like Obsidian stuff. But this whole app that I interface with is called Obsidian, and I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I have a whole bunch of community plugins and then custom like scripts and edit and tweaks that I've made on my own to get the functionality that you see here. Like this. This is just a frame. This is just an HTML frame from a website that I certainly don't know about. That lets me look at the thing. That's what it does. It's cool. Um, I need to get like little templates that say like what the current like what we are doing within the stream currently. I wonder if I can I add a text box that just says like fuck man. I'm sorry. Sorry guys. It'll be like fucking a minute before I actually start reading the stuff. I wonder can I do this? Well, war up. That's not exactly what I wanted. um, how do I properties? There we go. Can I do intro and then is that it? I get font, no like underline. I can't even like do a shadow box. What is this? This is 1984. Wow, that's insanely small. God, this sucks. I really need to spend a bunch of time like getting this app, my OBS and everything set up. How does that? That's way too big. Uh, is that good enough if I just do that and then I can move chat right there and have that there? We just close that panel entirely. It's not terrible. It's far from ideal, but I have to get this thing started at some point in time. Hold on. I will tap into chat in just a second. I need to finish one other thing and then we can really get this show on the road. Um also there's definitely a lot of stuff I need to do to like make the stream format better of like this sort of group discussion as I'm saying it, but I'd like to have some pretty specific blocks of like beginning with a walkthrough of the chapter and then I sort of give some of my thoughts and theories, and then we have like a group discussion, fielding anything from chat about like thoughts pertaining to the chapter and what's coming next. And then after that, we'll move to like a larger block of just discussion about the arc in general. That's what we did last time for the most part, and I think that worked out really well. And I want to try and do that. I wish there was a way I could like pin questions so I could have like a backlog list of things to get to so people could like know what's coming up, but like having chat up is like kind of the best workaround right now. Um all right. Let me move this over. Let me look into chat. Wish I could watch longer. Are you looking forward to the baby-shaped Nen ability pinata? Looking forward to the net baby-shaped Nen ability pinata. I don't even know what that means. Is that Wobble, I'm assuming? I don't know. Or the Beyond Babies. I have thoughts on the Beyond Babies, but I haven't finished a video on it. This is gonna be my first time reading through the official release. I haven't read this chapter since like Voracious Drake's translation dropped on like Thursday, so it's been a second because I've just been busy with IRL stuff and then also finishing that Sari video that I'm not even that content with, but like whatever. Crazy chapter of the videos. Thank you. Did you clock that's the same face he makes, and then the Theta illusion? I did not. I'll have to look into that. Go over my comfort character, Syria comfort character. Okay. Um, Let me start also recording on my end. There we go. All right, all right, all right. All right, are you guys ready? We're gonna read through the chapter. It's chapter time, folks. So this was a fucking great chapter. I like I know the joke for like Succession War stuff is always like something like nothing ever happens, the manga, but like stuff is happening kind of crazy mode. You know what I mean? Like we are I think like around when last batch ended at 410, I was comfortably in the camp of we are between a third and halfway through this arc. But like with how the stuff is moving now, I've seen a lot more people say we're closer to halfway than we are through a third of the way through. And I don't know if I quite agree with that. But like I think that just speaks to the like sheer increase in like the pacing of events. Like we've gotten like 50 almost 60 chapters. This is the 59th chapter since the war started of like meticulous setup, and now we're starting to finally see like stuff get knocked down, and it's awesome. I love it so much. Like I am living so large for this right now. The reflection on the bullet at the far left. I don't know what that is. Is that anything? I can't exactly tell. Can I increase? What happens if I increase the zoom? Ah, I can actually. That isn't terrible. We'll do that. Just so it's a little easier to see for people. All right. So we have the canon going through sorry Nick, love that. We get a lot about Salkov's kind of like what the fuck is happening. Your words are a pox upon society. I like that. Sentenced to death. The fucking guttural kick. Is this a ruse? Since when? For how long? See this into your brain on your way to hell. I am the one who co-signed you to oblivion. The bottom of my boot is the last thing you will see. Oh fuck, I need to actually scroll in the thing. I haven't, this is interesting because I haven't read, can I, this is going to be weird. I need chat on my actual monitor with chat and not the window chat. Um, okay, here we go. Dude, I was working on a thumbnail for this stream that I didn't get out, but it was going to be this picture of Ben, you know, looks like he's creaming his damn jorts, and I was going to say peak in text right here because that's my reaction to this, you know what I mean? But like this works just fine enough. I'll probably finish the thumbnail later. Um, and we actually get some thoughts for Benjamin here about like Saria's counteractive ability, because a lot of people were giving a lot of smoke to Ben last chapter of like why the fuck would you just shoot somebody in Zetsu, right? Like why would you do that? But like we have to remember an ability working in Zetsu is up to this point completely unheard of. Like the closest thing would be like what Melioran from Chimera Antark, but like his ability isn't initiated by Zetsu. His ability is just like Zetsu plus plus. You know what I mean? So like even then, it's just like I don't know. But like Benjamin's prediction of like anything happening here, like he knew Sari before this, didn't know Nen. So like if your guy's in Zetsu, even if he has a new counteractive ability, just fucking shoot him. You know what I mean? Because like what is he gonna do? He has a terrible, terrible ability. Camilla and Melioron. Does Camilla get enforced Zetsu? I've heard people say that, and I don't quite remember where that comes up because I know she dies. She doesn't have Nen, right? But is there any form of Zetsu that is within there? Because I don't quite remember. Is First Prince Benjamin real or is he an illusion too? And if this isn't real, what about them? I love this Salkov picture too. Is everyone here seeing the same thing I'm seeing? And then we get this parallel with Benjamin as well with Serenik last chapter of if you have the opportunity to provide testimony, say truthfully everything you saw. Um, I saw Voracious Drake and some other people were saying this is a reference to like a Bible verse or something like John 7 or something. I don't know. I don't know anything religious. All the religious references are going to go straight over my head. I don't know here, but I've heard enough people say that this is like an obvious reference. There's so much like gratuitous Christian iconography and like symbolism in the arc that like this is something, but I don't have the expertise there. So, you know, she has to be in Zetsu for the ability to activate when she is killed. Luke 7:22. There you go, Kevin. Thank you. Um yeah, I mean like uh Frollo, Karapika, and Morena are obviously like steeped in Christian imagery. Serenik has a lot as well, you know. So this makes sense. I really enjoy this. Fourth Prince Serenik was human scum. I was planning to kill him regardless of the succession battle. So this is basically vigilantism. I haven't read this translation. That's fun. A piece of trash is absolutely not a fallen hero of the great Cocking succession battle. Executed him at my sole discretion. His numerous crimes will be laid bare at trial. I have pardons and commuted sentences ready for anyone willing to testify against him. Think it over. we like just started. There has not been a lot happening. The stream's been going for a minute. We've only been doing this for like a couple minutes. Could this actually be real? Serenik really died. Was he really attacked by Benjamin? Is there a way to know for sure? And then we get this sort of image from Salkov, which this is a big like hanging nail or hanging thread for this chapter of like this is the only way. Salkov right now is the only one that knows that there is a like surefire way to verify that if Serenik is alive or not, and that is to look at Theta. Um, and you know, I'm very interested to see where that comes from because I said this at the end of my Sari video the other day or yesterday. Fuck me. Of like before we were under the assumption that Sari's like illusion ability only lasts 10 seconds, right? Like the illusion he forces onto others where he can change his actions is only a 10-second window, but this is longer than 10 seconds. If he died, let's say, I don't know. I mean, like if he died when his face got crunched here, right? This whole sequence has to be within 10 seconds and everyone leaving has to be in 10 seconds. Like all of this here has to be within 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like before they leave, or else someone just looks behind and goes, "Oh, Serenik's gone." You know what I mean? Um, so Theta crumbles. She's sleepy. Theta's in the room adjacent. Yes, Theta's in the room adjacent, but only Salkov knows that her like weird burn marking thing here is directly linked to Serenik's Guardian Spirit Beast ability. That if he dies, the Nen would disappear, right? Like this is the only surefire way that somebody can like completely and fully verify Serenik is still living. Is if Salkov looks at it, knows that the ability is caused by it, or something else. It's at least a minute now. Yeah, that's what I think. Could it be 10 seconds to how it started if he's developed it further? It could be. I think there's explanations of how it lasts as long as it does. I did say in my Sari video, like the first usage at the end of 385, 387, where Theta shoots Serenik. Serenik falling over and then going to like the melody trance is longer than 10 seconds. So like I think there is something that we know there. Um, but yes, this is also the first time we've like gotten verification that the marking is only visible to Nen users, which is also really interesting. Um, wouldn't the Nen marks just stay a la post death Nen? Maybe. I we don't know like how hard it is to get should the intro be mired. You know what, I forgot I was changing I was like changing the fucking the things. I forgot I was doing that. Hold on. How do I already forgot how to like uh do this. How do I change the text? Properties? Oh, read. Beautiful. Perfect. Is there anything else I need to quick talk about? Yeah, I think like Nen that works after death, like that is post-mortem Nen, but like post-mortem Nen has been exceedingly rare. Like we've seen what, 4 use cases of it so far. I mean, I guess there's some muddying of the waters depending on like what your definitions are, but um then what does he say here? Selkov and Danjin will be headed over to the Central Justice Bureau and held there. Our military will also move there and use the 7th floor and its courtrooms as our joint force command center. That's interesting. Um, Drake, in his translation, noted that the first kanji title for Central Justice Bureau is different from the room that is referred in the latter half here, whereas in this translation is the same place. Um, I had a whole like long ass comment that I wrote about like the difference between the Central Justice Bureau and like the Ministry of Justice, as those are like two different names for some reason, and I believe the one of them only got introduced last batch in 402 with Kaiser. That was the first time it got name dropped. But like these are two different locations is my understanding. One of them has to be on tier 2, one of them has to be on tier 3. If I had to make a guess, the Central Justice Bureau should be on tier 3 because like the political ward there, everything there is central. Like there's the central courtroom, there's the central police station, there's the central, community center and all that stuff, and then like the Ministry of Justice would be like Kaiser's place on the 2nd floor or tier 2, where like the trials are held, where Balsamico poisoned Hulkenberg, or I guess vice versa, and all that happened. That would be tier 2, but like he's heading to the Central Justice Bureau, which is in tier 3, which is where we see Benjamin at the end of 410 with Boltabai, Messiahstone, and Kaiser, right? But like how this all plays out, I don't exactly know. Like Togashi's obviously motioning for a differentiation between these two terms, but like what that means, I don't know. I also saw that Togashi announced that he's completed rewrites or re-edits of volume 38, which was what was that? That was 91 to 400, I believe. Um, which if he's re-editing that for a new drop, that definitely makes me feel like we're in soft retcon territory or re-edit territory with things of like him wanting to go back and better clarify some things, I think. I don't quite know. Sayre opens his eyes to speak with Salkov and closes it again for Benjamin, so I think he's chaining. Chaining? Is that in reference to last chapter as well? I don't quite know. I'll have to look into that. Togashi tweeted out that 424 was done, and then that there were like changes to volume 38. He like completed edits of it or something. I don't know what that entirely means, but that is what he tweeted, or part of it at least. Maybe Sayre's ability will make the mark disappear until he changes the reality back. Then maybe. I'm gonna try and start getting through this chapter more so we can go into more thoughts later. We get the third Chekhov's gun loaded, or Chekhov's bullet, I suppose, back in the boot. Sacrifice yourselves for the continued prosperity of the great Kakin Empire. Um, and we see that the 5th and 6th Tobeppa Tyson are contained within Benjamin's room. We get that the hunters attacked Conjugal, and they can use that as a bargaining chip with the Hunter Association. Seems the third prince might have manipulated Coven Toba with his Guardian Spirit-based ability. Coven Toba himself admits to aiding and abetting a desire to be held and monitored. I was under the conception that Coven Toba wasn't manipulated, but I guess this is the first use case of like Zhang Lei's ability doing something, so that's interesting. I don't have too many uh thoughts about that. Curious to see what you guys might think. No need to hold him. If he was aware of it, it was coercive and manipulated him. I'll hear him out. Balsamico was found unconscious in room 1009. He was unarmed, and once awoken, he asked questions you had prepared, and he is him without a doubt. And this is incredibly interesting for like so many reasons. I don't quite know where you guys sit with this, right? Because I think the big question here now is that we know Hulkenberg fired the arrow from 413 in 1009, right? Assuming his supporters were in there to fire the arrow, right? His supporters must have gotten to tier 1 and had left tier 1 without anyone noticing, right? Because the supporters had come up through normal tier 1 means, the Royal Army would have assuredly known about them. And then once they try to leave, like, you know, they would kind of know stuff. So, like, I don't quite know where that's at. I have some thoughts that, like, maybe Queen Seiko is helping them, but I don't quite know. And then, like, the most fun idea is obviously, like, Hulkenberg is really Jekyll hiding this, and that he is still within Balsamico's body. He just let Benjamin and Co. wake up Balsamico's body, so now Balsamico is control, right? I think, like, I really like that interpretation. It's one that I had that I didn't share, of like, I think Hulkenberg has been like conditioning the other princes into trying to understand how his ability works. Like, he's been giving them false information of like how his ability works in a way. And I think, like, oh, if they feel the rumbling, their assumption is that a swap has occurred. But we know that that is not true, because there has been rumblings before where an arrow hasn't been fired. They are not always chained together. So, you know, maybe this is bait on Hulkenberg's part to make everyone think that Balsamico is safe, vetted, and not Hulkenberg. But then, you know, all of a sudden a switcheroo occurs, you know. Maybe somebody puts something into Balsamico's drink, puts him unconscious, and now Hulkenberg's in the chair. You know what I mean? Like, I think that could be a fun idea. Either suppress Hulkenberg or experiment was Hulkenberg's figuring out how to fire his soul only. Yeah, that was the other that was my main takeaway of like Hulkenberg's extremely novel position there. Like, he might have just been able to cleanly fire his soul into another person's body and just kind of zip around the whale at that point. Because it feels like to me part of the ability is that, like, to make it the strongest, he has to sacrifice his like real body. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Um, Dude who was with Cyrenik asking if this is an illusion or not, / everyone on the boat learning Nen really is unaware of postmortem Nen. I don't know if we can say the arrow hasn't been fired. We just don't know who got swapped. It's kind of key for the loserist theory, because the accounts for every tremor. Make it out of the contest. I don't see him possessing someone else for life. My thought... I keep getting stuck on, like, you guys' thoughts, because they're so great. First off, I'm not big into Loser's theory of Hulkenberg possessing Loserus. Not that I think it's necessarily bad. I just don't. I think it's more interesting if Loserus is still Loserus, because, like, I'm not particularly smitten with Loserus's first, like, thing that he does is not actually him, but it's Hulkenberg. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not, like, particularly, like, interesting to me. I think it makes sense, and I think it works, and I think it could be something out of it, but it's definitely not something that, like, I'm particularly smitten with, if I can say that. Is Hulkenberg also not planning to make it out of the contest? My take is that Hulkenberg wants to end the monarchy. That's his way to win this, like, that is his goal with winning the succession war. And so I think he wants to put the succession war into a position where the princes now have to work really, really hard to get the succession war to conclude. Like, if I'm Hulkenberg and I want people to know that the monarchy is bullshit and that you can like revolt and do something, I would embarrass the shit out of Benjamin and like just kill him in front of everyone. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, Hulkenberg's angle is like a revolution doesn't need a leader. He needs to die for the revolution to start. You know what I mean? And if his win condition is ending the monarchy, like I feel like that kind of plays into what his narrative has been so far. But I don't particularly know that either. Um, would give him more aura. Yeah, I mean there was that. Was it chapter 418 or no 420 something? I forget of like that hard ass loserist cover with him like holding the gun walking forward. I love that. Okay, I need to get through the chapter. Hulkenberg switched. Don't deal with the two princes. We get some. Also, is this bearded guy? I think this bearded guy's new. I haven't seen this guy before. Or is this one of Hulk's? Is this a? Is that a Hulk personal guard? I can't tell. He's in the uniform, right? Yeah, that is a Hulk personal soldier because he's not. He doesn't have the like ribboned jacket like the other Royal Army guards do. It's chapter 420. I see. I do. I love this guy. It's one of my favorite designs that he's had so far. We get Tython and Tubepa. Lovely. Sorry to keep you waiting. Thanks for your cooperation. Regret that there was a traitor in the army. They stole part of a biological weapon. Oh dear, how scary. I love the juxtaposition. So fun. We know who did it. It was one of my personal guards. We believe to be connected to Camilla. The weapon component isn't usable by itself. We can do all we can to get it back, thus the martial law. Why did you even bring it on board? To deal with dangerous creatures? And Tython, well, as long as there's no danger of it being used, we can go back to killing each other, right? Dark humor. That's fun. I really like that. Tyson looks like a Muppet. Yeah, Tyson's like a shapeshifter. I swear, every batch, her design changes. Like, I mean, all the designs of the characters have changed so much from like when they were first introduced, but like Tython consistently just looks different depending. Like, I don't know. Um, I do like that she looks less like this might be a little mean, less goblin-y than like her first introduction where she's like, OMG, fairies, of course. Like she looks really weird there. This is a good like redesign. I really like how she looks now. I think this is a very good like Tython representation. And I also like how Tubepa looks a lot more masculine now compared to when she was before, where like she was masculine in the sense that she had a square jaw, but like that was kind of it. You know what I mean? But I like how like her features are definitely a lot more filled out now. Looks nice. But an update on that, the hunter named Karapika has a theory that if multiple princes are still alive by the deadline, Kakin will lose the protection of its guardian spirit and the current regime will collapse. However, we can all survive. Brought you here because I thought it would be worth to debate amongst us all, but I'm afraid some refuse to entertain the idea. And then we get the TSK-17 bomb going off. President, a third TSK has been deployed. Confinement within the double VIP living quarters will continue until martial law is lifted. Only a matter of time before you acquire the weapon. We'll conduct safety checks of your quarters. And then Tubepa, you know, is trying to figure out why Benjamin declared martial law because like this isn't adding up. And she's like, hey, can I like also be there in those inspections? And Benjamin accepts, which is cool. And Tyson, sweet little Tyson, says, I think you're the worthiest to be king even without the succession battle. Love her. Just such a fucking lovely force. I love her so much. She's my favorite. I'm biased. Survival of the monarchy and prosperity, the succession battle has meaning, but even if the theory that the monarchy would collapse if the process doesn't complete is true, and there's a will to overturn the whole thing, the one closest to the throne is still you, and the monarchy would only shift into a military regime. Only once you and Camilla are gone will this proposal be persuasive. And then we get a nice good frontal shot of the whale. It's been a long time since we've had a frontal shot of the whale. Most of them are like pretty far out or like side views. So that's a fun one. I like that. The Succession War being right after the intro to the ants and right before the Dark Continent is very significant to Togashi, and to me it's obvious. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts about like the thematic significance and through line of the Succession War and like what ideas it's going for. And it very much is like a thematic like continuation of what the Chimera Ant was covering. But like I want to make a whole like high quality video on that because I have some crazy thoughts about that. Um and we get some hesitation from Balsamico about like, hey, I don't know if like I should be with you. Like, the attacks that remain inside are still unknown. Like, what about troop morale? And Benjamin goes, how trivial. Focus on analyzing enemy abilities if you have time to fret over trifling risks. You risk your lives to take on these enemy attacks. It's what any soldier would have done. The same goes for me. Gyo! And they activate their Gyo, and we see the Nen curse living in his eyes. Oh my god, what a fun shot. A curse by Camilla's personal guard, the secret art of the have-nots, I hear. I'm also infected with TSK and have half a day yet to live. And there's a possibility an even more powerful curse than the have-nots one beyond placed on Furikov could be turned on me too. Isn't this exciting? Yes, sir. What do we have to do to the enemy? Destroy them. And death, our friend. Who are we? Kakin Royal Army Squad. Holy fuck. Just popping off. I like this is the toughest shit of all time. I love this. I've always liked Benjamin. I'm glad like a lot of his dividends are paying off. I'm glad a lot of people are turning on him and like enjoying him a lot cuz like I love the camaraderie between Benjamin and his guards here. Like, we've known that like the guards like Benjamin, but this is the first time we've seen that like Benjamin really like gives a shit about his guards. They work together. They're a unit. You know what I mean? Like, this is awesome. I live for this shit. It's so good. Like, I am infatuated with this little sequence. That panel of Benjamin's your favorite of the new drop? Yeah, I mean, this is so unsettling. He's on an adrenaline high. Look into who the Ninth Prince could be currently switched with. The feather on their hand is a giveaway, so discovery will only be a matter of time. Coin is powerful enough that holding it for 10 days makes you spontaneously confess your secrets. The number is currently still 10, but I fear that there will be further effects at the next magnitude. Keep it. There won't be any more changes. Aren't many places for them to go. This is confusing to me because it wasn't it because what was it? Zhang Lei gave Karapika the 10 coin that they had, and it went back to a 1 coin, right? Can people who got Zhang Lei coins who aren't Zhang Lei not like revoke ownership? Like, can he like once he has the coin, does he just have it? Like he can't reset it? I guess it's a question we don't exactly know. Um, Heard from the top and crushed them from below. We get Unyor Longbow. Love this guy. Or no, Unyor. Yeah, it is Longbow. Sheesh, I was eating. He's an eater. Third Prince Zhanglei escaped. Can leave it to the Squad 3 recon team. Detain the GU and Sha'ar bosses on suspicion of treason and conspiracy to overthrow the government. Escort them to the Justice Bureau. Considering Zhanglei's path is clear, Unyor's to sit in his escape. That's a felony. Tell them their only valid bargaining chip is the prince's current whereabouts. Zhang Lei went to Tier 2 right before the declaration from the cross bridge inside the GU boss residence. Currently confirming the route and follow his trail. Follow-up report. Tell Squad 3 and 7 recon teams and the scouts to focus on capturing Zhang Lei and 7 the Prince Lucerus. Multiple princes survive past the deadline would be in the darkest timeline. Does that mean it's equally bad if all of us are dead? Nay. That's a scenario that leads to a legislated national emergency separate from the succession battle. Emergency Law, Article 1, sustaining the monarchy in a crisis. If the monarch, as well as all successors eligible for the throne, are dead or face inevitable death through unavoidable attacks such as a bomb, epidemic, riot, or natural disaster. So, the Drake translation was clear here, but with the things that we've learned from Benjamin and everything else, or I guess it's still coming up, but Benjamin's got a good plan here. I really enjoyed this. This is actually Benjamin's plan with his son was actually a idea that I had before this batch had even started releasing. Which, oh my god, I wish I like made that video and finished it. Like, imagine calling this pocket insane. But I'll get to that when we round out the end of the chapter. Camilla's been infected with TSK 17, will die in 13 to 19 hours. And we see Camilla saying, Bell can come even during martial law. He's the Surgeon General, call him now. Bring equipment and personnel from the Central Medical Office. Have the CDC or R&D, anybody, find out whether this is a bacteria or a virus. I don't know exactly what Camilla's ploy here is. Like, you know, knee jerk is that a bacteria is a living organism, a virus is not, right? Virus is just like RNA code or something that then like gets into your body and replicates, whereas bacteria is like a living thing. And as far as we know about TSK 17, it can reproduce on its own, it can mutate, it can like procreate, right? So like it has to be a bacteria in that point, or I guess something else. I don't know. I'm not like a disease guy, but like it's not a virus from my understanding of how diseases work. Um and like since it's living, like maybe the cat can do something, or maybe it being living is like room for something else to come into play. I don't quite know. Um, I am infatuated with the idea of Leorio coming with Camilla. There was somebody on the Hunter Reddit. I should try and pull up the image of they made like a quick little fan comic strip of Leorio meeting Camilla, and like, can your favorite ship be two characters that don't even know that the other one exists? Is that a thing that can happen? Because like, holy fuck, I really like Leorio and Camilla. I think that's a really fun combination. Honor Society's theory that Queen Oito's nephew, aka Fake Wobo, being Benjamin's son, is now disproven. Maybe. I don't quite know where to land on that. I eliminated Serenik. I feel like I flushed a massive problem out of my bowels. As a parasite eating Kaki from the inside, he failed as a human being, much less a king. I finally have one less weight on my shoulders. Affected 5th Prince Debeppa and 6th Prince Tyson of TSK. They will die shortly after Camilla. I don't have a grudge against either of them. I can even respect them, but they're not king material. Won't waste your deaths. I will protect and guide the next king and the next, and the one after that as a leader of an ideal nation. Rest in peace. 11th Prince Fugetsu, her haggard appearance following 10th Prince Kacho's death cannot be faked. She was swarming with evil spirits and ghosts attracted to those with despair. She's good as dead already. She's suffered enough. I can at least let her die a peaceful death. The official story will be that she committed suicide by poison because she was afraid of the TSK infection. Maybe she'll be born into an ordinary family in the next life. I've been going around asking people what they think about the Empire not existing after the contest, since they would have destroyed themselves. If they have to get the bodies to the coffins, you can see them not being able to get at least one prince's body there to finish the succession. I can see that. Mario and Borkson have to address TSK. Leo would punch Camilla in the face. I mean, Leoria, I think he would be quite smitten with an authoritative woman like Camilla. 14th Prince Wobble, or rather 8th Prince Oito. Even if it was a last-ditch effort, I'm not impressed by the baby swap, but I can understand how you felt. Surrounded by family who would trade a baby's life for riches, and that her sister, a fellow mother of an infant, was the only one who supported her when she tried to defy that fate. It's a fact that it's 99% likely Wobble is ineligible, but who says I have to accept this fact as reality? It'll be a simple matter to have them officially declared dead, in deference to their resolve and with respect for their heart-wrenching decision to exchange their beloved children. If I can prove that Wobble is elsewhere, I will let their clan off with exile. But if the real Wobble is on board, whether she's eligible or not, I will accuse them of using a cheap trick to vie for the throne and have their entire clan wiped out. So, poor Oito, poor Oito's family. I 8th Prince. Does it say 8th Prince Oito? It does say 8th Prince Oito. That is, yes, that is very much a typo. That should be Queen. I think that's all we have here. Emergency Powers Act. If the deaths of all heirs are unavoidable and only the current king survives, the current king will immediately name the next successors in order and prepare for a contingency. Before I die, I must eliminate the remaining princes or infect them with TSK. A complete annihilation. Once that future is inevitable, it triggers the act, and Father will declare my child next in line for the throne. And we finally get to look at Benjamin's guardian spirit beast, or at least a bit about it. It is called, in this translation, Gypsy Life Bohemian Rhapsody. Don't know if I quite like that. After Benjamin's death, it fuses with his Nen and selects one of his blood relatives to become their guardian spirit beast. Once a prince fuses with a Nen beast and loses their human body, like Prince Cacho, their right of succession is lost. The criteria for selecting which blood relative to haunt can be determined by Benjamin ahead of time or left to his guardian spirit beast's discretion. Forever after, the same criteria will be used every time the host dies and a new host must be chosen. I was in the Drake translation. It was my understanding that like Benjamin can choose whoever chooses the first host of like where the GSB goes to after Benjamin dies. Like the next time a host is chosen, it is the spirit beast's will and not Ben's. But I guess here it's a little more unknown. Chose Stan type name. Yeah, I forget what the initial Drake translation is. Because if you don't know, there's actually every ability in Hunter x Hunter has, or I think I don't know when it started, but they have two different names. They have like the like I forget what it is. Is it the kanji and then the kanji reading and the furigana reading that are different. And that's why you have like the one name colon another name. Like Melioran's thing is God's accomplice, perfect plan. Maybe perfect plan, God's accomplice. I forget the order, but that's why they are all like that. Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be wandering tribe, wandering people, or something like that. Those who wander, or something. I don't quite remember. Gypsy is a choice, I'll tell you. I mean, like it's not like it's fine. It's just like it does feel like one of those no words a little bit, but like who cares? It's all right. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't go with just wandering people. It's interesting. Planning on merging his beast with postmortem Nen and Benjamin Baton. It could pass down Nen abilities too. The seed earned ritual would be obsolete. Yeah, that's the. Well, I'll get into my thoughts, but once we finish this, we're on the last page. If Beyond's curse is directed at me, the surest way to undo the curse is to bounce it back. I must die first. If by chance Beyond's curse activates first, depending on its power and nature, there's a risk it may render my guardian spirit beast powerless. Curse Mother and her treacherous plot. She knew Furikov couldn't eliminate the worst case scenario, that Beyond's curse could be directed at me and use that to manipulate him. She gave him the TSK, knowing that my desire for national prosperity and selfless service to the public would lead me to declare special martial law. Through Furikov, she encouraged a murder-suicide of the other princes. She wants any one of her children to become king. When she learned of Beyond's ambitions, she shifted her focus to the brother who can be more easily manipulated. How dare she abuse Furikov's loyalty and mock me? I'm sure that seeing my actions, she's assured of her victory. Unfortunately, I will ask her to choose her own life or that of my brother, the ultimate choice. Oh, dude, new player bonus? Fuck yeah. And that's where we end off. Oh my gosh, there's so much happened. There's so much to talk about. There's so much going on. Hold on. Let me look at something real quick. Hold on. Okay. Oh my gosh, we're at 50 viewers. Hello, everyone. Benjamin put that text wall over his mother's face. He did put that over Unma, huh? Unma's face, she fucking block a text right on top of her. Unfortunate. Yeah. This is fun. Okay. Where should I oh my god, it's like we just read it. I just read it. I'm like remembering everything that happened and I'm like where do we start? Where do we even go from? Um I'm a little serenicked out right now. Am I gonna change the raid? Yes, I will shortly. Um but I think I want to start with Benjamin. And what his like plan is, if that sounds alright with you guys. I think I'm gonna start there. Chapter discuss. Need to turn that down a little bit. A little too big. A little too big. Still too big. We'll do a cool 200 font. And then move this up a little bit more. And I'll move my chat up. See, oh, that's not what I wanted. Can I like fully hide my chat here? No. But I can do that. There we go. After discussion, I think that's good enough for now. All right. Other big thing about the wording is that Drake one means Ben lives in the beast body, and the official means he leaves instruction to it and dies. Yeah. Yeah. So let's start with the with the beast. So do you have two? Yeah, I have the one of the chats that you guys are seeing is just like a window source of the my chat window. But you know, I can't see that obviously because that's through like OBS, my streaming software. And so instead of having to look at both monitors, I just have another personal chat window for myself also on the screen. And you might be asking, well, why do you want to do that? It's basically just so like I can hide stuff easily, and also when I click into Obsidian, the chat like doesn't disappear because it's technically like a separate window pasted on top for you guys. So it just makes it more fluid. But I want to get a better chat solution by the time next week. Um, yeah, Tagashi's naming conventions go like that. In manga, Takashi writes the names in kanji and uses furigana to mark how it's read while playing with words by giving them different meanings. Yes. In addition, most kanji names are based on novels, songs, or movies related to the ability. If you know their story, you will understand the lore of that ability better. Very accurate. I mean, that's like Hulkenberg's Grimmel Les Dissonances, right? And then the boy who fired the arrow, the Kevin, the boy who fired the arrow. I forget what the thing is called. Yeah, it's great. By the way, for Benjamin's ability, the kanji means wandering tribe, but it's also the Japanese name for the classical piece. Not even gonna try, which means gypsy airs in English. Interesting. I did not. I must have not read that note, or Drake didn't include that in the translation because I did not see that. Hold on a second. My dog wants to go out, but I got a headset mic, so I can still walk around. Go outside, kid. All right, there we go. Let me sit back down. So the whole idea here, I think, with Benjamin is that like with combining his beast with Benjamin Baton, since the spirit beast combines with Benjamin's Nen, being Benjamin Baton, right? And the beast itself fuses with Benjamin's Nen and then passes to his children, that his children or whoever the heir is not only inherits the beast but also inherits Benjamin Baton. And we still don't know exactly how Benjamin Baton works. Um but yeah, I don't that feels like the intention. How that all plays out, I don't quite know. And like one of my thoughts, like while I was doing a video research on like all the names of the princes and what they mean and like what they could like how they fit into the character's arc. And Benjamin is like it's a Hebrew name obviously, but like uh Unma's children and Unma herself all use like German words, roots, suffixes, etc. And Benjamin has a specific cultural reading in German where it is like a name, or it used to be at least, like you could name your youngest, like your newest and like probably last son as Benjamin, and they would like that's the Benjamin of the family, right? It is the youngest last child. And Benjamin, both being like narcissistic and self-absorbed and like wanting to win the war, but like maybe not able to, passes it to his new son, which he also names Benjamin after himself. And I feel like that was a pretty strong like link there that I really enjoyed. And while the son may not be named Benjamin, I feel like that is still like very much one of the readings that we're looking at here. I think that's like part of how this all plays together, which I really like. I think this is a very fun idea. I like Benjamin trying to like supplant himself as like an alternate to the ceremony. That's just such a fun idea. Um, Give the would-be king just a shit ton of net abilities and aura quantity, I'd imagine. Yeah, I mean, my take has as like Benjamin Baton. We've only seen 4 stars on his fingers, and we don't know like how if abilities get overwritten, if like he can hold abilities on his left hand because we've only seen it on his right hand, or how any of that like plays together. Like I have to imagine over the eon or however long afterwards that like abilities would have to be overwritten at some point, but like I guess I don't know. Um But it means anything that Benjamin refers to Hulkenberg as brother and not by name when talking about Unma. Oh, doesn't mean anything. I don't particularly know. There's difference in translation between like Japanese uses like honorifics and pronouns and like reference very differently from how English does, which makes like translating this stuff kind of difficult a lot of the time. But I don't I think this is just opening the playbook for Benjamin to like Hulkenberg could either be the one or maybe Benjamin. Like regardless, Unma wants one of her biological children on the throne. And Benjamin thinks it's Hulkenberg, but there is that possibility is Serenik. But like Serenik's dead in his eyes, so why would he not just say Hulkenberg? I don't know. Um, what do you think of the possible Fury Cop support Nen item for Bohemian Rhapsody? I have no goddamn idea. I don't know what their plan is. I don't know how you can support this ability more than it is. I really don't know. Um, Very interesting regardless, and how this plays with Beyond and Furykov and everything else. Because Unma, like we've started to get to see that, like, I mean, the queens have always been from the beginning, like, pretty competent in their planning. Like, they are agents of their own that can do stuff. Like, they are threats to be cognizant of. But Unma has really come out as being, like, very down to clown and scheme and connive and conspiracy to make stuff happen. Like, I think the Dwazel Hulkenberg swap makes, like, Unma being impregnated by Beyond and having Serenik way more likely. Like if Unma's down to clown to like have one of her children raised by a different queen on paper, I feel like she'd be down to clown to have like an official child not with Nasabi being Beyond's son, right? Like I love all that. Also like if you didn't know this, all the queens their names are numbers or like roots for numbers. So like Uno, right? Duaz, Dua, Duo. Tolchere, which is Zhang Lei's mother, is like Trey almost, and then Gatrono, Quattro, Swinko, Cinco, you know, et cetera, right? Um, but if you are trying to read Unma's name and everyone else is German coded, the Un would not be one, right? It would be like the opposite of what follows, you know? Like if something's unwise, that is not wise, right? So in that case, like is Unma like the not mother, the opposite mother? Like I don't know how that reading would quite work out in German. I'm not German, obviously, but like I think that's a really fun idea that I really enjoy. Could Ben intentionally choose could it intentionally chose terror in order to destroy his aura reserves? I don't quite know what that's in reference to. Maybe FMA allows Ben to keep his baton abilities post death. I could see that. It might be better to like enhance Benjamin Baton to be better than for the Beast to be better because I don't know quite how you would make the Beast better. I'm sure even I didn't notice that. Yeah. Because all of the queens, their names are comprised of a reference to a number and a reference to royalty, right? Um, Unma is an outlier because Mother isn't inherently like royalty, and then the Un part, like I don't know. But yeah, that is a very very interesting naming stuff. I like. Bro for use, Nen curse thingy for you is lame or not. Feels like they don't have any downside after using it so many times. Beyond Netero case prob. I don't quite know what the Nen cursed thingy is lame or not. I like all the curses so far. I've yet to make my Beyond Baby video, but I'm with Voracious Drake and his theory of Soemono and side sacrifices and stuff that the Beyond Babies aren't meant to snipe other princes. I think that's a pretty dumb plan if that were his plan. Um, but the have-nots I do like. I think that's a very fun idea that I really enjoy. What else? What else? What else do we got? I want to move on from Benjamin a little bit, unless you guys have any other closing thoughts. We get another look at Fugetsu. She looks crazy. Can I say? Like, oh my gosh, what is going on with her? But that's all right. It's good. Um, in theory, if we take Drake translation and Ben Spirit will be the beast and Katja Beast is similar, it may mean that Katja herself also alive in an end body. I disagree. The thing that I got from the translation was that Benjamin's Nen fuses with the Guardian Spirit Beast, and Ben's like identity and like purpose, I guess, goes into the beast, but like his soul has fully died, if that makes sense. And I think that's like pretty much what is Cacho Beast is right now. Like Cacho Beast may be acting like Cacho because she's like a scan of what Cacho was like before she died, but like her actual soul is still completely dead and out of the picture. You know what I mean? King would have more people that swear fealty to the Nen ability pool can be wider as long as there's a solid mechanism to retain them. Yes. Needs a diet coke. Ben just going to cyanide for Getsu. That's what it feels like. It looks like Ben wants TSK 17 to like not break out necessarily, though I think that will happen, unfortunately. But like Fugetsu's gonna be scared about like what if she's infected, what if she's not. I mean, this is the story that Benjamin's spinning. And then in her like anxiety and thoughtlessness and fear that she poisons herself like willingly to kill herself through cyanide or some other means we don't quite know yet. Yuji mother without the scar. Who is Yuji? I don't is that somebody from this? I don't know who that is. Since the beast dry aura from the users, having another forced beast would dry Siri aura and impact his parallel future. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to include it in my Siri video just because I didn't want to go into like crazy unfounded speculation. But I really like the idea that part of the Beyond Babies, part of their purpose is that they themselves act as the aura banks that Sari's new Nen Beast uses for the parallel universe ability. Um, oh, it's a guy from JJK. I haven't. I watched like the first season, the movie, and like the first 5 episodes of season 2 or something, and I was not into it. I didn't watch any more of it. I don't remember him. Benny inflicting to Beppa too soon with TSK will be one of his mistakes, giving them time to develop an antidote. Yeah. It will be a Pokemon master and collect all the Nen beasts. Yes. Um, I do like if TSK 17 is gonna break out and like this is a thing that's going to happen, which like I said this last week as well. TSK 17 has been brought up so many times, so recently that like um I feel like it has to be a major player for the rest of the arc going forward. And I think like to Beppa's beast having to concoct an antidote or something along those lines, I think is pretty plausible as far as like a thing that like might be close to happening or at least like working towards. Um like the Hunter Society's Horcrux theory. Yeah, it's the Horcrux theory is the Solomono side sacrifice theory. That's where he got it from, I'm assuming. That's the Drake theory. What else do we got? Is there anything to really talk about with the GU and Sha'ar? I don't think so, really. I don't think we've quite learned anything to really uh analyze or look into. It'd be hard to get the antidote with Predator being primed against it and Kurapika restricted from visiting. That is true. I mean, I think just having the beast work on something isn't enough for Rihan to conduct a predator for it. And also, like, this is pretty dangerous if for Rihan to commit to a predator since he goes into Zetsu for like 3 days, I think. Which is pretty bad. Um, but like I don't think the beast is bound to only working with Kurapika. Like the first time we saw Tebeppa's beast was when she like she proposed an alliance with Serenik at the first day of the banquet, right? And so like I think she can make a cooperation or work with anybody as long as they like initiate and like work together and be like, "Hey, let's do this together," and everyone agrees. That's when the beast like procs and can start like doing something, if that makes sense. I think it's noteworthy that a mafia boss can learn to communicate with his underlings as needed. That's true. The underbosses. Oh my gosh, my dog. Hello. Yeah, the underbosses. They are the under. Or I guess no, they're the vice bosses. Those are that's the blonde dude in the GU, and I don't think we or no the Char. I don't think we've ever seen the vice boss of the Char of the GU. But that yeah, that's definitely works. That is something big. Because Kenny Wang and Henrig, I don't know how I pronounce that. Those are the underbosses, and the vice bosses are the one above them. Then these are the real bosses. Stealing this from Extra Otter, but there is the fact that Losers probably didn't use Brocco Lee to escape as Unyor leaks that info about Zhang Lei. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know how Loserus escaped unless Hulkenberg had a contingency of his own that only he knows about that no one else would that like wouldn't be through the mafia. Maybe like Unma has something going on. I don't quite know, but that's a fun idea. I like that. Baking that Leorio will become Tebeppa's research partner and help with developing the antidote. Yeah, give Leorio and Cheetle some screen time. I love those guys. Yeah, if Parallel Future was with Benjamin Baton, that would be very strong. Well, the Squad 3 and 7 recon teams. Do you believe Unyor is Zhang Lei's father? If I had to commit, I would say I don't. But like obviously we don't know enough to like make heads or tails of that. Um but yeah, I mean I don't know because like we don't know how princes become benefactors of mafias. Like that's just not a thing that we know about yet. And so like I've seen people say that like for a prince to be the benefactor of a mafia family, they have to be the son of the boss, and so that would mean Loserus would be Brocco's son, which like they both have very tight curly hair, so like I can see that resemblance, and like I can see Zhang Lei on your, but like I'm not particularly convinced. I really don't think we know enough to make heads or tails, and really can make a committal answer. Um, Here's why they even had the Mafia in the first place if they were planning to purge them from the beginning and take full control anyway. Had the Mafia. I don't quite know what you're referring to there. Are you talking about like why the Mafia were brought on board to the ship? Or are you asking why they were let to have like their own secret hideouts and like ways to get down from tier 1? Because that was all planned by Nasabi. I mean, Nasabi, the whole idea of the succession war in the whale is that the princes have to like scheme and use their systems to win, and some of them like they are meant to be asymmetrical in position, right? Like if they all started from the same place in the exact same position, that's not that doesn't make a good leader. What makes a good leader is like knowing what you have available, what you can use, and what you can use against your enemies, right? It is understanding the current situation and making the best of it. And to that end, the more asymmetric and chaotic and like complicated the succession war gets from Nasabi's angle, the better the eventual living prince will be. So that's my take on that. Didn't Zhang explicitly say father to Unyor? I had taken it as a fact. He doesn't explicitly say. I mean, he says father in quotation marks. Let me see. What chapter was that? That was. What was that? Was that three? No, that was. Was it 403? No, that was this section. 401? Was that? When was? Oh my gosh, when this is gonna annoy me a lot. Was it 3? It was 388, I believe. Or 89. It was 89. Oh my gosh, am I wrong again? Oh my god. Oh, it was 390. We got there. We got there. We got there. All right, all right, all right. Cuz in this conversation, let me pull up my stuff again. Like I don't know, we don't know what father Zhang Lei is referring to here cuz he says like Zhang Lei asks how his father, like insinuating Nasabi won the war. And all Unyor says is that like all things come to those who wait. My brother used that strategy to survive. Nasabi, I'll look up what happened back then. How long will it take? Might take some time. All right, just be patient. I'm counting on you, father. And so like I I think this does hint towards Unyor being the father, but like could it be that like I'm counting on you, father, referring to Unyor digging up the information, or is he saying I'm counting on you, father, in the fact of learning how Nasabi won the war, so he can emulate that, right? I think it's left like purposefully ambiguous. I'm not entirely sure. I mean I definitely think either reading is like supported. But I'm not all the way there of pinning down Zhang Lei as being Unyor's son. I'm not hitting that button yet. Spirit beast that gives in parallel future is the false prophet, beast of land. The chimera beast of the sea is the horse one, and Benjamin will become a dragon spirit beast. That's interesting. Ever thought of that second reading? I mean, why would Unyor be the benefactor of Zhang Lei? Same with Broccoli and Loserus. Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, at that point, like the presumption then would be that like Serenik as benefactor of Haley would have to be the son of the former Haley boss, right? Which we don't know about, right? Because we only know about Morena, which like very, very recently became the Haley boss. So yeah, I don't know how that would all work out. It's really interesting, but I think it's framed that it's intended to be a big revelation about his true father. I can see that. I can definitely see that. He lacks the onion head. Very true. Because I have some more stuff about like what the like mafia bosses are, but I don't quite know. Trying to see what else do we got to talk about like pertaining to the chapter. Um, the Zhang Lei coin, like I think there's stuff to talk about, but like again, is there like do we know anything to like say how the coin works, how it does anything? I don't think so, you know? Like I really don't know. I feel like Natsume and Beyond share some kind of motive since Firikov calls with Beyond. I disagree. I think they are colluding together in the fact that they both want to go to the Dark Continent to a degree, but I don't think that they are I don't think they particularly like the other person. I'll put it that way. Where do you think Beyond Crew is right now? That they are in a Nen space inside the ship, like Morena's. I don't. I think Beyond's crew is all at home, just chilling out. That is your theory since the Terror sandwich. That Beyond doesn't equal Terror's father theory. I like that. That's good. What's your take on Siri saying the same thing as Benjamin to Salkov when he asked for the guns last chapter? Yeah, what was it? Luke 7:22. Was that the verse that is in reference to? It's a religious reference. I'm not Christian. I ain't read the damn Bible. I don't know like how that could play into their readings or like what significance that could really have. I'd be more than interested in hearing if anybody has any more thoughts on that of like where that might be going or what significance that might have. But I don't. It is a specific reference, but like to what that means, I don't have anything really. Wait, Ben's boots and fit are that clean in the hurry he's in. Yeah, he's all set up. Tropica's coin makes him reveal his intentions with Sari. Maybe that could be interesting. I'm stepping into Sari. First thought was that Koventelba was lying about the coin's influence, but there was a panel in 416 also alluding to some sort of manipulation, maybe. Um, yeah, I don't know, cause like in where do we got? I think we gotta pull up 413 and 416. So we look at 413. If we look at the end map that we get of all the like the fog of war from Ben and Ben's men's perspective, we see that Koventoba is in the like master bedroom, in the prince's bedroom, and Zhang Lei is not there, right? And so what does that mean? What is that up to? Who knows, right? And then we finally see in 416. Was it 415? I think it was misled. I think it is 415. Oh yeah. Because we see Koventoba like talking with two guards, and he says, "Damn it, why is this happening? Is it because I had the coin that from Zhang Lei?" And I'm sorry, I need to close this panel for the stream to reset. I don't know what this means. I don't know, man. Whether it means something, whether it doesn't, who knows. The coins do something. How they do it, what they do, how like what I have no idea. Beyond claiming to be an Uber VIP for making the contest go smoothly feels kind of sus. I mean, he is an Uber VIP. He's the leader of the expedition. He is like, he has the most goodwill on the boat other than the king himself right now. Serenity's parallel future when Ben walked in, so he knew what was going to be said. Yup. Will Siri try to kill both Nen guards? Maybe. Which, like Salkov and Theta, I'm assuming. I've maybe, but I think he wants them alive for at least a bit. Um, Spilling secrets spontaneously just sounds so strange and convenient. Yeah, also just a very funny sequence of words. Wondering if the coin was used against him, like how you might pay off a guard. That's really fun, Dog Cop. I had never heard of that or thought of that. I really, really like that. That's very fun. Um, yes, if you give the coin, it accrues aura over time, and then when you request something from them, as like since you gave them a coin of goodwill, essentially, the coin's aura manipulates that person into telling you what you want. Um, I like that. That's fun. You know, there was that mafia stuff with the brown paper bag and like bribing the one guard about like the secret room and plumbing of the hideout and stuff. So I definitely I think there's some support for that reading. I like that. Honestly, think Leora is going to be the main force against Beyond. I mean, once he learns of what BS Beyond has been doing with the cursed children, he might even become an exorcist himself later on. Um, I think Lurio is going to be a major character coming soon. I think he's very much set up to be a like core character of the Dark Continent stuff. But you know, I'm hoping he at least gets to show his stuff soon in this arc. Like the Bible or not, it's human history, and obviously Togashi has read it. I love me all sorts of mythology. Yeah, for sure. I, there's so many different like folklore and you know pieces of history that Togashi is like trying to remake in this arc. It's all really really fun, really interesting. It's just unfortunately for me, a lot of his stuff is Bible and Christian related, and I'm just not there. Coin represents commodification of religious iconography and worship of capitalism. The coin's abilities will likely manifest the logical end conclusion of the worship of money, i.e., selling secrets. That's a good take. I like that a lot. That's definitely a good way to fit it into the larger themes of the arc itself. Just a crumb of Leorio. Looked up Luke 7:22. It describes several things, including the line, the dead are raised, maybe just reinforcing the idea that Sari isn't dead. Okay. Coin represents the quid pro quo nature of the third prince, so a bride makes a lot of sense. Yes. Yes, I really like that reading. For me, what supports the possibility of at least Janglei and Losers being the sons of mafia bosses is the criteria for the legitimate succession war contestants being primarily the kids of legal wives. Yeah, I think leaving that loophole open, definitely points to like there being some sort of additional mechanic or like thing that is happening. Um, but like it also could be like to point out like the lese majeste stuff because a mafia boss can only become a mafia boss if they have royal blood themselves, right? Because mafia bosses are carnival children that have royal blood. And if you're a carnival child who doesn't have royal blood like Morena, you go to the meat farm, right? And so like maybe the legal wives distinction is just so that like when a carnivale is held and the king knocks up a bunch of women, they aren't legally the kids born aren't legal heirs. You know what I mean? I think the specification could definitely work to kind of hash out that problem as well as this. But I do agree that like leaving this loophole conspicuously open does point to some more stuff going on. At work right now, so I have to check back later. But I've been thinking about it for a while. How Typhon sounds close to the Greek Typhon, the father of monsters. It makes a lot of sense a bit with her GSB. Yeah, I put most of my thoughts about Tython in my Tyson video. Because Tython, I believe, refers to like religious tithe as like religious tax, and her Nen Beast, you know, to those who follow her religion, it taxes their aura to do something with, which I think is where that name reading is going. For Loserus, it is 99% sure he looks like the Mafia boss is too much. Yeah, I agree. I definitely think Loserus is the best pointer to that. I wonder what Serenik's move is. He won't be satisfied with hiding, and he has no knowledge of Ben's ability, so he won't go after his child. Maybe it's time for him to go more of a to go to Morena. Interesting. I mean, like Serenik right now, he doesn't know how Nen work. I mean, he knows the basics of Nen. He has no clue how Nen in a combat ability functions. And so I think his highest priority right now is to find a damn good Nen teacher to teach him how combat works and how to like navigate that. Because I mean, Nen tacticians are like the highest demand entities on the ship right now. Like Kurapika, Chrollo, Morena, I think are definitely shown to be the most capable and intelligent Nen tacticians. You know, Balsamico is also shown to be quite capable in that aspect himself. But Serenik's gonna need a teacher. He's gonna need someone who can teach him real Nen combat and not just his like his actual gimmick Zetsu trick. You know, like it like if somebody figures out his ability, like if he figures out the one trick that doctors hate, like Serena's kind of over as far as actual combat goes. Legal wives thing is a Nen condition to make the dynasty more powerful. Maybe. I also don't buy that Onier doesn't know about Nen. Yeah, I think the mafia bosses. If it's my guess that like the part of the succession war itself is that like Nasabi mandated to the mafia bosses that they can't like give outside information to the princes to an extent. Um You know, because like, I mean, obviously Ben has like the royal army, like that's huge for his advantage, but I don't know. I'd have to assume Nasabi would be against allowing princes with mafia that are mafia benefactors just going to the boss and being like, "Hey, dig up all the fucking dirt and info you can so I can win the war. Hee hee, please." I mean, I don't know. Nasabi is so hard to read. I'm Bob Marcus. Good for you, man. How can you not be? How can you not be Carnivore orphan and not be of royal blood? Is it that someone from the royal entourage also procreates with cocking citizens? Yeah, it was unknown, but the fact that in this chapter, actually I have it pulled up. Where does Benjamin say it? It's wrong. I took Prince Benjamin and his men for not participating in the Carne Levare, you know? So like before we thought it was only like we only knew the royal family participated in the Carne Levare, but it seems like the royal family members who participate can bring others outside of it, which makes a lot of sense because if only royalty could partake in the Carne Levare, all of the offspring would be royalty. In which case, like the lese majesty restriction wouldn't matter; it'd be moot. Um, so that would be how, as like the one of the royal family brings their guards or friends or something. I don't know. Um, Karapika, yeah. It's about taking risks and having a non-Huigro row ruler become the ruler. I can see that. There's a panel this chapter on a Ben soldier hand being covered. Any chance it's converted hands? I guess it's just my Chrollo cope. I I'm also a Chrollo coper. I want Chrollo to do something. I don't think. I mean, Chrollo's in tier three, and I guess we don't quite know where Benjamin is. Maybe he's down to tier three by now. But like, why would Chrollo just put something onto some guy? I don't know. All right. Wait, no. Converted hands is that Benolinol? Oh, wait, no, that's the disguise ability. That's right. Maybe, maybe not. I can see that. I'm definitely waiting for a any ball to drop on Corello's end. Um, we'll switch to Sayer next chapter most likely. You can see him in the preview Togashi posted. Maybe. Erna made it easy by getting abilities with blood. Yup. Serenic is constantly 10 seconds ahead of everyone, maybe more by now. He can spy on them and find everything out. Guys are probably in the room. Interesting, interesting. You believe Nasabi wants to possess the winner slash is the first king? No. I think Nasabi, like the 14 coffins that we see, one of them's for Nasabi. I think Nasabi is sincere in the information he gives about the succession war, where like the last remaining prince is the new ruler. Um you know, Kaki, we don't know a lot about their world building and how they operate and stuff, etc. But like, I feel like it's more than likely that he is sincere in that like he wants the next progeny to do it, because like what would be the point of like enacting the like such a complicated and convoluted and perfect like entity of the black whale to hold a succession war if not to forge the best prince possible? Like if the net condition was just to kill all your children, he can do that without the war, you know what I mean? So I don't quite buy that. The way I understood the carnival is that it involves powerful people and VIP, not just royal princes. Yeah, I believe so. I really do want Serena versus Morena. It would be one hell of a battle. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Morena like she's out in the fucking in her hideout. I don't know if she's gonna be actually attending most stuff. I don't know if I think like so there's multiple abilities that the Haley people have that are requisite upon being inside the hideout with Miranda present. So I don't think she's able to move that freely to at least have a match with Serenik. Put Mazias Stone in that strategist. Yeah, I can see that. I like that. I mean, the Zodiacs, it is like we've been poking them with sticks for like a decade, and they don't do a lot. I love the horse guy. That's like my favorite one. He's like has done nothing. Sacho, love that guy. Great guy. Just had an epiphany. Benjamin's plan is idiotic. Wobble is not on the boat and outranks his kid. He can't emergency elevate his kid. There's a superior candidate. Maybe. Um, Ahsoka will win Hunter because bungee gum is the properties of both rubber and gum. That's true. Ahsoka learned Krollo has no respect for the sanctity of battle. He will crush Krollo now. Yeah, I mean, Ahsoka's entire deal is the romance of battle, the romance of hate, right? And the fact that he didn't get that and lost, that really crushed him. Like that really, that's ego death on Ahsoka's end. I thought Tebeppa wanted to win, but since she says Benjamin's proposal will be viable when Ben and Camilla dies, I guess she really just doesn't want the upper princes to win. Yeah, I don't I'm not entirely knowledgeable about what Tebeppa want. I mean, like I feel like we've gotten like pretty much the least. I think she's had the least screen time of any prince that is still living. Um, and like, yeah, I have no real good read about what she wants. Like her idea here of like, we can stop the contest, but like that's only like a viable proposal if the first and second prince are gone. I don't know if that's to like create an allyship with the younger princes to then off them later or something. I don't know. We just don't know about what her real plans are. Which Phantom Troop members are the likeliest to run into a prince? I wonder if Krillin will strike a deal with one to help him to end the war through stealing the spooky pot of greed and such. I don't know at this point. Like Benolanov, most likely, since he's at least on tier 1. Insert Ben is under a lot of pressure. He's a hothead at the best of times, and now he's making mistakes. Shooting Sari while in Zetsu is dumb. I don't think it's that dumb. I think it's It's an all right maneuver. I think Dogman is going to try tailing Corolla to the higher tiers. He might even ruin his disguise since he can smell Corolla. Dogman probably doesn't know about Borkson being in the Haley now. Why wouldn't Dogman know about Borkson being in the Haley? He was one of the ones responsible for kidnapping Borkson. What? Uh, Dogman was the one that found out that Borkson was a specialist, so the other person could kidnap them to the Haley hideout. That was the entire point of Dogman enhancing his smell to the point of learning or being able to sniff Nen types immediately. Um, I don't think the Haley have any focus on the Phantom Troop right now. Maybe like Nobunaga and everyone else, they might start doing stuff. But at least like currently, I don't believe so. Participating in the departure of the Black Whale was a second condition to be eligible. If she's not there, it's over. Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, the Guardian Spirit Beasts only manifested during the banquet of departure. That seems to be like their spawn point, their initiation point. And so you had to have done the Cedar ceremony a month before, attended the departure ceremony, and then attended the banquet to be fully eligible, is my best guess. Some early chapters state that Tebeppa is anti-monarchy like Hulk. Uh, I feel like I vaguely remember that too, but I've reread this arc so many times recently, and like Tebeppa has not been on my highest like memory list priority, so I'll have to definitely recheck that. If you just poison him, it would have to be GG. Sarah can't counter that. Uh, Emergency elevation as a result of every prince dying. Benjamin's current plan. Do you think that the crib in Unma's quarters is of Benjamin's son? I think so. Do we think that Nasabi would make such a blander and let real Wobble to evade S War and be on the mainland? Blunder. I mean, I think Nasabi knows the restrictions of how the like war works better than others, and I think he knows that like even if Wobble was swapped and even if the wrong Wobble partook in the ceremony, that would just mean the ceremony now includes 13 princes instead of 14. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it puts the war in jeopardy. The only point that the war itself gets put in jeopardy is if Wobble is on the boat and is eligible and then immediately leaves the boat after the succession war initiates, which is the worst case scenario. But we also know that a prince who has gone through the succession ceremony and like is valid. If they leave the boat, they get grabbed by the spooky hands like Kacho did. So I don't think that is. I think it's pretty much a non-issue at this point. Keep mixing Cheetle and Bork's name because dogs go Bork. What? Um, I think Borkson's supposed to be Volkson as well, but Tyson shapes like a Tyson Chicky Nuggy. Yeah, she's just a cute little girl. I love her. She's precious. Haley fan vibes so familiar with the Shadow Bees. I mean, at least the Haley guys aren't like disgusting fucking creatures. like the leech dude, the mole guy. Like, oh my god, those are grotesque people. I'm not a big fan. Special martial law, it would cut off communication between them, which is why you probably wouldn't know Borkson was a fit. Last we know is that Dogman saw Chrollo because he was a specialist. Um, yeah, but Dogman went out with a specific intent to kidnap a specialist, and Morena said here, I can pull it up. What am I doing? Um, where was that? Was that 04? It's not 04. Was it 05? It's not 05. Was it 06? Was not. Was it 06? Last week I like binked all of these, and this week I am not. Um, but yeah, this is it's when she asks about what a specialist is that she says that like Dogman was scouting stuff out because I think it's in no, it's in 5. No, it's in 4. Find a soldier on the list, bring him here. You have the most important role. I need you to find what I'm looking for. I need to level up, go to processing and priority. And that plays into 408 where he's looking for a specialist and he sniffs out Chrollo, who's a specialist, but that's not who Marina had initially wanted. Right, we see that here. One of the people is my enhancer. He has to smell and gain the ability to sniff out abilities. He's currently at the level where he can identify a person's type just from the faint aura they emit before awakening. Because she needs a specialist for whatever her plan is, and so she wanted a specialist, and that's why Borkson got kidnapped, which also, handily fulfills the condition of getting a Serenic soldier. Oh, geez, there's been so many chats again. Ben knew Camilla's deck counted via Zetsu, and he saw Zetsu and Siri and didn't even hesitate. Sandshrew blinded him from his tactical mind. Both options are underwhelming. I mean, I don't think Gon and Killua are reintroduced. I think they got a nice little cameo fan service, and that is all that we are getting of them. Volk is in people. Yup. What about the 14 coffins in that separate space in the boat where the dead prince's bodies are? I thought it should include 13 princes plus Nospi himself to finalize a ritual. I guess that's true. If there's only 13 princes eligible, then it leaves one open, but I don't know exactly how that would all play out. Um, I imagine the coffins are all customized, numbered for each prince, so each have their own one and it won't be left empty at the end. Yeah, I mean, we know that the coffins are ordered clockwise starting from 6 o'clock. So like the first prince is at the very bottom, and then seventh is at the very top, and then the rest are down the right. Um, and so I don't know how detrimental it would be if one of them wasn't eligible and thus missing. Because like if it was max 14, it still works, even if only 13 actually were like submitted to initiate. Would have found out that after the 13-14, yeah, there's not majority from the culture war. Uh, People disappointed no matter where she is. I don't think they're showing up this arc. Pretty sure Chrollo would still work because all he needs to do is level up and he wouldn't be able to make any ability from Marina if working together made sense for him. maybe. I can maybe see that. I hope they don't show up ever. Yeah, I'm also team I don't want Gon ever to show up and like be a part of the manga again. Killua, maybe I can see coming back, but Gon doesn't deserve to come back. His arc ended exactly where it needed to do, or where it needed to be. His conclusion did at least, and so I'm very content with him just being in the sidelines and living a normal kid life and going to school. That's the best ending for him. This arc mirrors the Ant arc enough. There could be a GAK mini arc. Not sure I want one, but Togashi would make it work. Could be a G. What's G and Key? G and K referring to? Oh, Gone and Killua mini arc. I'm stupid. I get there. I got there too late. Is coming back for sure? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I was thinking of like before this batch had even been announced of making like a pretentious Hunter x Hunter fan explains why Gon isn't returning or something. Like really lay out like a lot more of my thoughts better. But I really don't like Killua. Maybe I can see come back, but like I also just want him to spend time with his sister. You know what I mean? But Gon, his entire arc is being incredibly impulsive, selfish, and childish, and by making impulsive actions, the consequences of his actions always get pushed to those around him, specifically Killua. And the last most selfish, impulsive action that he took was sacrificing his entire existence to kill someone in an act of revenge. And the fact that he got to live after that is insane, right? The fact that he just doesn't have Nen and is alive and is just being on an island away from anyone else is the best ending that he could ask for. You know, if his punishment for a character is just being a normal ass kid, I think that's perfect. I think that works out great. So I actually got a sweet spot for them, so good chance they will come back. Maybe. I think Kurapika Def isn't in the next arc. At this point, he's either dead or helping with Kaki and going to kill Willur or lead the next arc. I'm Team Leorio as like our entry POV into next arc, like Dark Continent stuff. But I mean, we'll have to get there eventually. Do you think that Takashi retconned Spider's motivations by Kurlo saying that they want to steal Kakin's treasures and now Kurlo wanting to steal said treasure to level up Skill Hunter? No, I don't think so. I think we've just gotten more information. Because like it appears that like to level up Skill Hunter, he just has to steal crazy treasure. Like that's how we got Bookmark. And so it sounds like to get the ability that he wants to kill Hisoka, he needs to level up Skill Hunter, which he was already planning on doing anyway by stealing Kakin's national treasures. Um, but also having the Hisoka like excuse for the mafia stuff like allows them to operate more freely because they can just say nope, we're after Hisoka, and everyone's like, you guys are fucking serious. Like I'll trust you. You know what I mean? Gun's dad already said he can regain his power. He didn't. Um, he definitely did not. He's Jing said that like maybe one day you might be able to feel aura or something, but like the fact that you got to live still is like, more than you could ask for, really. Like don't be selfish. Is he gonna make another selfish impulsive action, go to the Dark Continent? Maybe. Krollo can see won't be able to see Terra Sandwich at full power. If he fails, we won't have the ultimate Krollo versus Hisoka at full power. Yeah, I can see that. It's intended to be a plausible explanation for why the Kurta massacre happening to level up the book like he's doing now to keep them sympathetic but also fucking monsters. I mean, my conception of the Kurta massacre was that like Kurlo wanted to become like a black market person. Like he wanted to start creating like the online stuff and like start making plans to be a hub for mafia activity, for black market activity. And I think like killing all the Kurta, selling the eyes is a good way to like get a big foot in the door, especially with like people who would want to buy them. It gives them funds, etc. Right? I think that's my best guess with the information we're given about why that happened. But I mean, as well, I mean, I'm not an expert, obviously. Harrison Jing and the rest of Beyond's Dark Continent exploration team on the whale. I'm very opposed to them being on the whale. I don't think so. I think if we are to get like an on land off whale viewpoint, I think it would be from the Dark Continent expedition people. But I think if they were on the boat, we would have gotten hints or at least have heard maybe something about that, you know what I mean? But like also I don't know what purpose they serve by being on the boat, you know what I mean? I don't know. Because this boat's not going to the Dark Continent, it's going to the new continent where later Morel's boat and everyone else who actually is going to the Dark Continent will move from. You know what I mean? So like them being here at this point, I don't think is necessarily needed or really useful from like Beyond or Pearson's or anyone else's perspective. How long is the Black Whale ship gonna be in total? Kind of insane. There's a level of political stability. I mean, it's 2 months. We're about a quarter of the way through. I can definitely see it going for much longer, but we'll see. The round of mind games, I agree. I love their chemistry. Because of the book and that Media City is just that hardcore about not taking anything from them. I can see that. You think Krollo will find Shayla in Syria's collection? Maybe, but I mean, Shayla. We don't know where Shayla's at right now. We know that Shayla was with Karapika in the Kurta village before the massacre. But then she was gone afterwards, and we have no clue where Shayla is now. I don't know how Syria would have obtained her or killed her or what. I mean, we just simply don't know enough. Yeah, I think Karapika Kurolo is a pretty enticing team up that I like a lot. I think they have a lot of synergy together, at least like ability wise. But I mean, with the Longy contract, anything is feasible to some point. Like how much that works, who knows? Um, let's see. I'm gonna do. I've been going for about an hour 45 ish almost now. I want to start winding down our discussion a little bit. Um, I'm not gonna give a hard time for like ending stuff, but I just want to put that out there that like I don't want to go down too many like giant rabbit holes, thought lines, discussions, etc. at this point. I want to start kind of consolidating stuff and winding this down because this has been a lot of fun, but I'm not built for talking for like 2 hours straight. I also feel like I don't know, this is not that entertaining. I mean, I think it's entertaining for like people discussing, but like as a viewing experience, I don't know. But like maybe that doesn't matter. I don't. Who knows? Um, does Nasby no care about the new continent plan? I don't particularly think so. I think he knows he has to, but like, does he care? I don't think so. Hope we see Knuckle again. I agree. I love that guy. Shayla's in the Zodiacs in reference to the Periston theory. Yeah, well, I guess no. Periston left the Zodiacs, huh? So she's not in the Zodiacs. What if he used to power up his book for contingency plans in case he dies? Something to pass on, like the sun and moon bombs. There's always been talk about the spider moving on without the head. That's an interesting idea. I like that. I mean, the book is very useful, but I mean, it also sounded like the more he levels up his ability, the more stringent the restrictions on it become. So I don't know how that kind of push and pull would quite work out. Um, so Winnie Prince is going to come back immediately once the S Succession War ends. Cocking really seems to operate fine without the monarchy right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we don't know how much of the monarchy is responsible for day-to-day governance. Like, they say that they are a democratic parliamentary, which like a monarchy could be there, but they like in that point the monarchy would have not a lot of political power. It'd be more like a figurative like head of state and like ceremonial piece, kind of like the UK and stuff. Which I think is definitely closer to what the Huegro Ro family is. They definitely have political power, obviously, but I think like actual governance, I don't think they are particularly responsible for, if that makes sense. Also, Pearson having a weight off the ship. Too bad Nov is going to the dark continent due to his trauma. Yeah, bro would have been useful. He would. But there's that little round girl who's very cute. She has a little teleportation ability, but I guess it's not great, or it's a warm ability. How do we know when someone is using Zetsu from when it looks like they don't have any aura? How do other Nen users know when someone is using Zetsu? Um, I don't know if it's ever been like specifically like visualized, but it appears that like people who have awakened Nen have a larger like aura bubble around them naturally, and they can use 10 to like condense that to appear like just a normal person with a normal amount of aura. That's what like Longi and like the other people within Karapiga's class were doing. But a Zetsu user would have no bubble, which is distinct from unawakened Zetsu users or unawakened Nen users who have like an extremely small aura outline. I believe that's how that works. What do you think of Nobunaga's sword plot line? Can we call that a plot line? I mean, he got it stolen. That's kind of it. um, I don't know. It seems his ability is reliant on a sword. To what that means, I don't know. If he like really needs his sword because it's very special, I don't know. Um, yeah, we got to overcompensate for the break next week. Is there a break next week? I saw someone say that, but I didn't had not seen any formal announcement of it. Um, of that guy, favorite guy, best guy. The effect of the succession ritual makes the nation follow the king without there need to be executive control, maybe? I could see that. I definitely think there's tampering with like the succession ceremony, like influencing the populace in many ways. Like I think I don't know. Like I just don't know how that would all. Oh, the magazine holiday. That is true. I forgot. Yeah. Um yeah, no, I hadn't seen that. That sucks. Maybe I don't know if I'll hold another group discussion live stream next week, and maybe I'll try and work on a much higher quality video that I've been meaning to get out for a while. But we'll look into that. Hey Taffer, really fuck with your content. Thank you, thank you. Are you not afraid of copyright? Like I don't want to see you get hit, man. Um, I don't think there's anything they can copyright me for right now. I mean, I guess Jump could copyright me for reading their manga, I guess. But I mean, I think the standard of copyright there is providing a like readable alternative that is not through Shonen Jump, but like I'm not doing that, you know what I mean? So I'm all clear with that. And like I don't use music or anything else right now, even though I probably should. So like I'm not I'm very much in the clear as far as copyright concerns are, from my conception. I don't think I have to be worried about there. Um, what are the odds the autograph board plot is going to be brought back up before the end of this batch? Not zero. I'll give you that one. I do think that the autograph board plot is like I love that little. Is that Char? Yeah, it is the Char guy. I like him a lot. I do like the autograph board being the introduction to like the delivery service of the like mainland to the Black Whale. I definitely think like that shipment is going to be important as like somebody's trying to sneak something onto the Black Whale. And like maybe the like fucking people don't want something to get delivered. Like maybe it's bad for Ben or something. And now people are trying to sink the like ship or not get everything to go through. And the little Char dude's just like, I want my autograph board. Like that's all I want right now. I think that might be kind of fun. But like, who knows if it comes back. What Kurapika really mean is that Gonokilo will overthrow the Kakin Empire and the prince will come back to a kami uprising. I mean, I think he meant Killua will become the king of Kakin. So, we'll have to wait and see about that. Both Killua and Gon being back and Jing Parison being on the ship with the Arcs 2 stuff. We have enough moving plot threads to begin with. That's kind of where I'm at for the most part. Like, I think there's still more plot lines and threads and like so many reveals to happen with this arc, but like at this point, introducing players as major as Jing and Pariston and Gon and Killua being on the whale all of a sudden, I feel like is way too big of a jump from where we've been before. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like
I think most of the major players and mechanics we know about right now, I think there's a lot of reveals to still happen with those and how they work together and like all the backstories and past and everything else. But like, yeah, Jing and Pariston, like that would change the entire dynamic of the arc if they're in play. Put on some Minecraft OST, maybe. I'll figure something out for next week, probably. Good afternoon, Monic. Sudanke is his name. That's right. You theorize it's possible to ship humans as soon as last possible time for surprise player to enter the black whale. Yeah, I guess somebody could be on the ship. We'll have to see. Um, Probably meet at the fake Dark Continent island. Gon can't even use Nen. Why would it be in the ship? Yeah, that's my whole thing of like Gon. Not only like doesn't I don't think deserve to like be in the story just on like a character level. Like he's completed his arc, but like he has no purpose or drive to being on the whale or doing anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't. I get like Gon's our favorite little boy. He's the main character for the longest, anyways. But who knows? Like I just don't think he's gonna do much anymore. So we need to do a JetBlue holiday edit of all the prince nets. I like that. Jin and Pearson, the lower tiers getting freaky. Yeah, they are having some hot yaoi sex time. Who will win as you see it now, anyways? I it is way too early to try and declare who's gonna win when like major plays are only just starting to get made. You know what I mean? Like, um, if only one prince is going to win and the succession war is going to go to completion, um, hmm, I guess I would probably say, geez, that's hard because like so much could change. Like the princes are different, are like good at different things. Like if it's as far as like maintaining governance and maintaining like diplomacy and like just going through the war through diplomacy and like alliances, like Zhang Lei would take it. If it's based on just raw ability and like drive, Serena could take it. Like if it's based on love and compassion, Tyson could take it. But like I don't know. At this point, I could see any of the princes winning. And on the alternate side, I mean, probably I guess besides Fugetsu, and then on the other side of like everyone dies and the monarchy collapses, I think that is more likely, but I still don't think is the exact right answer. I think there might be a secret third thing in play. What that secret third thing is, I have no clue. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right. A lot of people are coming in right now. I really appreciate that. I really like this chapter, by the way. It was very good, very fun. But I am winding down the stream. I want to be going for probably about 10 more minutes max. Because I feel like we're kind of, at least on my end, I'm kind of burning out of steam, running out of steam, running out of gas in the tank. So, I'm not gonna try and jump down any massive lanes soon. So just keep that in mind. The ritual counting would count as a win for someone. I mean, yeah, in that case, it would be like, I mean, Karapika, he's not in contention, but like that's a good condition for him. Hulkenberg, that's like his win condition at this point. You know what I mean? Um, so I don't know. Like, are there any winners in a like if this arc is like themes and such like there are no winners in war, you know what I mean? So like how that might play into things, I don't know. So I mean, like I like it's so hard to see like what could it can conclude this arc with. It's hard to know what will happen in the next 10 chapters, let alone the next like 50 plus. So I mean, I just don't know, man. Khalil also doesn't have anything to do. Horrell end with paper, scissors, rock. Tyson Cope. Zhang Lei is the model Nasabi. It'd be the same cycle over again. Yeah. Sally Sally comes back. Tyson is the prince we cheer for sure, for sure. Dream smoke circle. Ooh, that's a fun question. Um, if I had to bring out uh Dream blunt rotation, Hunter Hunter Princes. Wait, there was some really good fan art that I had seen recently. Fuck. Hold on. It was a really good fan art of somebody who did like alternate universes of like Succession War people, and there was one with like hippie Morena and her guy, and yeah, her guys, and it was very funny. I really enjoyed it. I know I liked it on Twitter. How the fuck do I view my likes on Twitter? Profile, likes. There we go. I didn't like it that long ago, did I? Here it is. Let me just drag these out so I don't dox myself. If I pull this out, do you guys see that? I think you do. All right. If I do that, um, I guess I need to remove chat momentarily. But dude, check out this fan art. Is this not awesome? It's like all the zodiacs and stuff. And then there was also this one with Morena, the unnamed girl, and Orage, and then Yokotani and Dogman, and that's so cute. I love that so much. Just adorable. Um, let me grab the guy's Twitter so I can shout that out. I'll post it. It's a small Twitter account. It only has like 1,000 followers right now. I believe they have a Pixiv too. That's their account on Twitter if you ever want to see that. They post a lot of really cute Hunter x Hunter art. They posted another one with Tonpa having like a little ice cream shop, and it's really fun, really cute. I love that. I just love, alt universe art of like the characters being happy. That's like my favorite shit ever. Second pick is Dream Blunt rotation. Hell yeah. Um, Going back to blunt rotation, Morena. I want Morena. I can fix her. I think she's great. She's fun. And then Tyson, just because I want them to interact so I can be there as well. And then, see, so many people are stuck up and hard asses, so like smoking with them would not be fun because they just wouldn't be fun to be high around. You know what I mean? Um, hmm. Shizuku. I feel like her ditzy personality would be kind of cute. Dogman would freak me the fuck out. He can't be a part of the circle. That is true. He would be giving me conniptions. If I see the dog man instead of the hat man, like that's bad. That's bad. Most invested plotline for me is the Bisky Vergay romance. I hope bro doesn't fumble. Hell yeah. Morena can ruin me. Smoke with Babby Mina so he can spill his secrets. That's also a good option. I like that one. Counting Morena, are you also counting Unyor? No. Do not count that guy. Imagine Smokey with yeah, I mean there are like magnitudes more nightmare blunt rotation characters than like dream blunt rotation characters. So from that angle, yeah, Ilumi would not be a good one. Shanglei ability being useless and you get the same result with a good bottle of whiskey. Yeah. All right. I feel like this is a good end that we hit here. How many Shanglei for a gram? Who knows? Um, this was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. I enjoy these kind of group discussion. Well, not really a group discussion, but that's what I'm kind of framing it as. Um, but there's other people that do live streams, but like they're kind like not I'm not dissing people, but they're not what I look for as far as like they're very hype beast, like screaming, like overreacting, which I'm not like the biggest fan of a lot of the time. And also, like, they're not great for communicating with other people deep in the sauce, deep in the discussion. You know what I mean? Which, like, I kind of want to see if I can maybe provide a space for that. That's kind of what this is. Like it's less of like me being like a fucking massive content creator personality and more of just like, chilling with your homie who also reads the manga, you know what I mean? It's kind of more the vibe that I'm going for here. Um I think to that end, it's been pretty successful so far. Um yeah, the AI thumbnails, yeah, it's insane. Chill, these are fun. Thank you, thank you. You just got here. I'm sorry, man. Maybe you can join next week. I'm planning to make these consistent at 12:30-ish Eastern. We might need some more. We need to push it back maybe earlier some days. I don't know. We'll have to see. Um, do I plan on a stream in the break week? That would be next week. I don't know. Um, I'm very I don't know. Maybe I'll do a stream. I mean, I don't know if I'll do a discussion stream. I might try and do another community aspect. I don't know. I definitely have to think about that. But I don't know if we do another discussion live stream because I feel like I've aired out most of my stuff I want to talk about. Maybe we can get some more people to talk about other stuff, but like again, I feel like a lot of you guys have gotten a lot of stuff out. I don't know how much juice we'd have for another chapterless live stream, if that makes sense. So we'll see. I'll think about something. I usually like to make a post or at least like make an announcement a day beforehand that I'm going to be live streaming. So if you don't see something go up on like Saturday, don't plan on it. But we'll get there. That's the vibe you give. Awesome. The stream is a dream blunt rotation. Great. I think the levels of sauce about Jing and Pariston are deep as now is unimaginable. Yeah. All right. Well, I uh I can spam some emotes, but oh yeah, Sarione. Yeah, I just started watching her. She's great. I would love um I want to see like I mean, she does not know me. Let's make that clear, and I do not know her, but she definitely seems like somebody who would be fun to talk about the manga with. I'd like to do more like community building creator stuff, but like I'm a little guy. I'm the smallest little man imaginable. I don't have pull of any sort, so we'll have to see what happens there. Um, I have plans once the batch is over, of doing. I have a series planned out once the batch is over that I want to do. That will be like not recapping the arc, but like a rereading, reanalysis, supplementary reading. I've reached out to the Hunter podcast guys. They'd agree to let me on. They're very cordial. It's just that they are completely booked for the rest of this batch. And so if I were to be on, it would have to be for something next batch. And so we'll see where we are whenever that batch drops. But we'll look at where we are. But that's it. I don't have any other shout outs to go through right now. There's a lot of other Hunter people to watch. I'm sure, I haven't even watched the new Extra Otter video. There's a Stereone video just dropped. So I move on, folks. Move on to your other favorite Hunter people. Cause I need to eat some food. I haven't eaten food today. But you guys have a good rest of your day. You guys have a good rest of your weekend, and hope we have some Hunter to talk about soon. See ya.